Asterisk, ladies, I'm going to tell you something your doctor has probably never mentioned, and maybe never will. The ugly truth is, most women over 60 are unknowingly accelerating their aging, increasing their risk of disease, and even damaging their brain simply because they eat too often. And the fix? It might not be another pill, another supplement, or another diet fad. It might be something as simple and as radical as a 36-hour fast. Yes, I said it. 36 hours. No food. And before you click away thinking, that sounds impossible, stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to share could completely change the way you think about aging, energy, and your health in your later years. And while you're here, hit that like button, comment below with fasting so I know you're listening, and subscribe for more straight talk health advice you won't get at your usual checkup. Asterisk Part 1. Why most older women are eating themselves into illness. Asterisk, here's the problem. The traditional advice given to older women, eat 3 square meals and plenty of snacks to keep your energy up, is outdated, and in many cases, harmful. Let's be honest, this advice came from an era when women were doing intense physical labor, often from dawn until dusk. They were in the fields, tending to livestock, scrubbing floors by hand, or walking long distances daily. Today, the average woman over 60 is far less physically active, not because she's lazy, but because our lifestyles have changed. We have cars, microwaves, online shopping, and chairs, lots and lots of chairs. Here's the ugly truth. Eating 5 or 6 times a day while moving far less than our grandmothers is a perfect recipe for chronically high blood sugar. And when your blood sugar stays elevated for years, your body stops responding properly to insulin, a condition called insulin resistance. Why should you care? Because insulin resistance is the silent driver behind so many of the health issues I see in my older female patients: stubborn belly fat, low energy, joint inflammation, brain fog, and of course type 2 diabetes. It's like having a house where the garbage truck never comes. Each meal you eat is a delivery of fresh trash to your cells, and without enough time between deliveries, the system gets backed up. Your body never has the chance to fully clear out the excess glucose, so it just keeps packing it away as fat. A 36-hour fast breaks that cycle. It gives your body time to burn through stored sugar and finally tap into fat stores, something your metabolism is desperate to do, but can't when you're constantly grazing. Asterisk Part 2. The cellular cleanup that only happens when you don't eat. Asterisk, I want you to imagine your body as a busy kitchen. When you're constantly cooking, breakfast, snacks, lunch, dinner, the counters are never clear, the dishes pile up, and you never get a chance to deep clean. That's what's happening inside your cells when you eat all day, every day. There's a fascinating process called autophagy, and I want every older woman to know about it. Autophagy is your body's built-in housekeeping system. It recycles damaged proteins, clears out defective mitochondria, and even hunts down precancerous cells before they become a problem. The catch? Autophagy doesn't kick in after a light lunch. In fact, for most people, it doesn't get going until around 18 to 24 hours without food. Here's the ugly truth. Most older women never give their bodies enough of a break to activate this process. Even an evening snack before bed can shut down the cleaning crew for another several hours. When you go for a full 36-hour fast, you're essentially saying to your body, all right, the kitchen's closed, let's clean house. And that cleaning is not just cosmetic, it's preventative medicine. Studies suggest that enhanced autophagy can reduce your risk of Alzheimer's, lower inflammation throughout the body, and even improve the appearance of your skin by replacing tired, damaged cells with newer, healthier ones. I've had patients tell me that after a few weeks of incorporating occasional long fasts, not only did they feel lighter and more energized, but their skin looked brighter, their digestion improved, and their brain felt sharper. That's the kind of deep internal reset no face cream or multivitamin can give you. Asterisk, Part 3. The metabolic reset no pill can give you. Asterisk. If I could bottle what happens to your metabolism during a 36-hour fast, I'd be a billionaire, but I'd also be out of a job because you can't buy this in a capsule. Here's what happens about 12 to 14 hours after your last bite of food. Your body uses up most of its available blood sugar and stored glycogen, that's your sugar pantry, in your liver and muscles. At that point, you flip the metabolic switch. You move from burning sugar for fuel to burning fat. The average woman over 60 often has years, even decades, worth of stored energy in the form of fat around the belly, hips, and thighs. A 36-hour fast forces the body to tap into those reserves. This not only burns fat, but it lowers circulating insulin levels, which tells your body to stop holding on to fat in the first place. I've had women in their 60s and 70s who were absolutely stuck. They were eating healthy, walking daily, and still couldn't budge the scale. After a few months of adding a supervised 36-hour fast once a week, their waistlines started shrinking, their blood sugar readings improved, and most importantly, they had more consistent energy throughout the day. And here's something you might not expect. Fasting can actually make your metabolism more flexible. In simple terms, it teaches your body how to smoothly switch between burning sugar and burning fat, a skill many older adults have lost because they've been in sugar-burning mode their entire lives. No prescription drug can teach your metabolism how to do that. Only giving your body the gift of extended time without food can. Asterisk. Part 4. The brain benefits older women don't hear about. Asterisk. When most people think about fasting, they think about weight loss or maybe heart health. But to me, the most exciting benefits are happening in the brain. I want you to picture your brain as a garden. Over the years, weeds start to grow, little tangles of damaged proteins, toxic waste products, and inflammation that interfere with how well your neurons, your brain's plants, can communicate. That's where fasting comes in. When you go into a longer fast, your brain starts producing more of a remarkable chemical called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of BDNF as the gardener's fertilizer. It helps new brain cells grow, strengthens existing connections, and protects against the kind of degeneration that leads to Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. This isn't theory. It's been seen in both animal studies and human trials. Older women who engage in intermittent fasting or periodic longer fasts have shown improved memory recall, better mood regulation, and even faster reaction times. One of my patients, Margaret, age 72, came to me worried because she was forgetting words mid-sentence. She called it her senior moments. After adjusting her diet and adding one 36-hour fast every 2 weeks, under supervision. Of course, she came back after 2 months and said, "Doctor, I feel like my brain fog has lifted. I'm reading books again. I can follow the plot of a TV series without rewinding. And I actually remember people's names at church." Here's another hidden benefit. Fasting can help balance neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. These are your feel-good brain chemicals. This means fasting can not only protect your brain, it can also improve your mood. That's important because many older women suffer from low-grade depression or anxiety that's never formally diagnosed. So, when I talk about a 36-hour fast being powerful, I'm not just thinking about the waistline. I'm thinking about protecting the most precious organ you have, your brain, so you can stay independent, sharp, and vibrant for as long as possible. Asterisk. Part 5. The emotional and spiritual shift. Asterisk. Let's step away from the science for a moment and talk about something equally important. How fasting changes the way you feel about yourself. For many older women, food is more than fuel. It's comfort, habit, and even identity. There's a morning ritual with tea and biscuits, the slice of cake at a friend's house, the late-night snack, because why not? Over decades, these habits become stitched into daily life so tightly they feel impossible to break. A 36-hour fast disrupts that pattern in a powerful way. When you make it through a fast, even just once, you prove to yourself that you are not ruled by your cravings. You realize that hunger is a passing sensation, not an emergency. This is deeply liberating. I had a patient, Evelyn, who was convinced she could never skip breakfast. She would get anxious at the thought. But after successfully completing her first 36-hour fast, she told me, "It's like a switch flipped in my head. I feel in control again. I'm not scared of my own appetite." There's also a spiritual element here. And it's not about religion specifically, although many faiths have fasting traditions. It's about presence and clarity. When you're not focused on the next meal, you suddenly have mental space to reflect, to pray, to meditate, or simply to be. Some women tell me they use the time they'd normally spend cooking or eating to write letters to grandchildren, start a creative project, or simply walk in nature. They feel more connected to themselves and to life. And here's the unexpected part. Food tastes better afterwards. When you break your fast, you notice flavors more vividly, you chew more slowly, and you're more grateful for what's on your plate. That gratitude spills over into other parts of life. Fasting isn't just a physical reset. It's an emotional and spiritual reset, too. Asterisk, Part 6. The precautions you must take. Asterisk. Now, I need to be absolutely clear. A 36-hour fast is powerful, but it's not for everyone, and doing it the wrong way can cause more harm than good. First, you must speak to your doctor before attempting a long fast, especially if you take medication for blood sugar or blood pressure, have a history of eating disorders, have kidney or heart problems, are underweight or frail. For women with type 2 diabetes who are on insulin or sulfonylureas, fasting can cause dangerous drops in blood sugar if not monitored. For those with low blood pressure, dehydration during fasting can make you dizzy or even cause fainting. That's why hydration is critical. During a 36-hour fast, you should drink plenty of water, herbal teas, and if needed, add electrolytes to maintain your mineral balance. Some of my patients sip on a pinch of sea salt dissolved in warm water to keep sodium levels steady. It may sound odd, but it works. The other big mistake I see is how women break their fast. If you end your 36 hours with a heavy, greasy, or sugar-loaded meal, you'll likely feel bloated, nauseated, and sluggish, not exactly the results you want. Instead, break your fast gently. Start with something easy to digest. A small bowl of bone broth with soft vegetables, a handful of berries, and plain yogurt, a small piece of baked fish with steamed greens. Wait an hour or two before having a larger meal. This approach avoids shocking your digestive system and allows your body to transition smoothly back to eating. And finally, don't do this every day. Extended fasting should be an occasional tool, not a lifestyle. For many women, once a week or even once every 2 weeks is plenty to see benefits without putting excessive stress on the body. Used wisely, a 36-hour fast can be one of the most powerful anti-aging tools in your arsenal, but it must be done safely, with respect for your body's needs. Asterisk,